What's up, guys? Marko and Theo here with You're Not My Type, bro. Welcome back to the greatest podcast on earth, because I'm in it.
Up and coming. Up and coming.
coming.
Up and coming.
We talk about everything, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Politics, show business, me. He's here for good looks.
Mhm,
He does look good. You got to give credit where credit is due.
Mm.
And we have a great episode because we talked a lot yesterday on the phone, man, and a lot of things going on
Oh God. Yeah.
in the world and showbiz and politics and everything, you know. But before we do any of that, we are ready to go with the Grey Goose and Tonic. It is, after all, 10:30 a.m. You know, I asked my friend,
It's
do you
just,
want to?
it's the loose juice. It's the loose juice.
I was like, do you want a drink? He goes, no, I like to have breakfast before my drink. But it is 5 o'clock somewhere, and welcome to Cocktails and Complaints.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good to see you, my friend. Looking good.
Ooh, that's
Theo.
good.
Yeah,
That's really good.
Boy, that will wake you up. Theo, your cocktail and complaint. What is your complaint of the week, my friend? I can't wait to hear it.
Okay. This complaint has been a long time coming, and for all you television fans out there, like I'm a big, huge television fan. I was an actor for years, and more recently, the big name shows have been, like White Lotus.
Oh, I'll have to watch that. Everybody
You still
tells me
haven't
it's great.
you still
No.
haven't finished this second season?
No,
Or
'cause-
third season is it?
No, we're waiting to finish our other shows, and then we're gonna binge White Lotus.
Okay, so I won't give away any spoilers, but back to what I was saying. The big shows now are like White Lotus. Everybody can't wait till White Lotus comes back, and then everybody couldn't wait till The Last of Us came back. You remember, The Last of Us, right? Now,
Season 2 sucks.
okay, that is actually my complaint.
How
Okay,
bad the season 2 was?
how
'Cause if
bad
you say-
season
if,
two?
If you say season 2 was great, we're
no,
done.
that's not what I was
Oh,
going to
okay,
say.
good. There's
what
hope.
I was going to say was The Last of Us season 2. All right, White Lotus season 3, both on HBO Max.
Uh-huh.
Both terrible. Do you know
Wait,
how
season 3 of White Lotus sucked?
it was terrible?
Oh,
It was
don't tell me that.
terrible.
I'm
It was
so depressed.
look. There were some characters in there that were like fun and funny or whatever. We talked about the girl with the teeth.
Oh yeah, I saw a
What-
picture.
something,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
But,
Everybody makes fun of her. Why?
Yeah, I mean they made fun of her on Saturday Night Live, but
Oh, that's right.
it just frustrates me that I don't get to watch. Well, actually now I'm watching a lot more television since I'm not working. But I don't. Whenever you have time to like sit down with like your loved one and you come together over a nice movie or over a television show, you want it to be good. You want it to be exciting. You want it to especially with television shows. The suspense builds and builds and builds and builds, and like, okay, when is it going to happen? When is the thing that's supposed to happen going to happen?
Right.
And so you're like, when is the thing that's going to happen
yeah.
supposed to happen?
Yeah.
And then the thing that was supposed to happen happened in White Lotus, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay,
Bro.
that was disappointing. And then with The Last of Us,
Oh, don't get that.
I'm just going to say when it got to the point of,
No, I
'cause
stopped
You saw it. Okay, don't.
No, I saw season 1 and 2, and I know the game.
Okay,
So I know I played the game, and already game 2 sucked, and we tuned down halfway through season 2. We were like, we're done.
but this is how bad season 2 of The Last of Us was.
It's bad, dude. It's
I-
really bad.
it
It's-
ended-
It's embarrassing bad.
It ended the way that it ended, and then I was like, I wasn't sure if that was like the last episode and they were taking a break and they're going to come back with like 1 or 2 more episodes and finish it off, but they never came back with the episode that was supposed to finish it off, so it felt like it was unfinished
This
business.
is textbook when the agenda is something else than sticking to the story and great storytelling. I don't know what the HBO was trying to accomplish with season 2. It was so bad that it lost its whole.
Half of the viewers, actually, I believe. I read somewhere where they lost half of the
exactly.
viewers.
IGN said so. Yeah, it was.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
If you haven't
Yeah.
seen it, Joel gets killed off. I think that's like episode
2 or
Three,
3,
maybe
whatever the hell
somewhere.
it was. Yeah,
And that's
Which
fine.
everybody knows from the game. I mean, if you
I didn't know it.
yeah,
I didn't know it.
yeah.
I didn't because I don't know the game. But it's fine. There,
No,
like what was that show called? The zombie show, AMC.
Oh,
The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
I
yeah.
think that was the show that became infamous for being one of those shows that
Yeah.
started killing off main characters. That
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Game of Thrones, right?
And not only
Killing
that,
off main
but then
characters.
it's something way worse. They started making full episodes about characters that weren't important. And The Walking Dead was great, but then all of a sudden they
Oh
started doing
yeah.
this thing where like some chick, which is absolutely not important to anything, started having her own episode.
I actually like that though because you get to see everyone's story and how they got to where they
Sometimes
are.
it worked. Sometimes
Yeah,
it worked.
it
But this
worked
was
great.
like some chick in the tribe down that nobody cared about. That literally, I remember even again, like now, everybody was like, "What the f, dude?" I mean, okay, it's cool. We like the backstory, but you don't need to make a 50-minute episode about some chick in it.
I won't agree. I
I
won't
don't know.
agree with you on
I
that
don't
one.
know.
We
I
don't
don't know.
agree on. I won't agree with you on that one
Anyway,
because I
the
actually do
show
like that.
lost all the viewers. You
Yeah,
know
but
what I mean? Yeah.
my complaint is HBO Max, pull your shit together, or you're gonna continue to lose. I don't subscribe. I
Okay.
borrow somebody's subscription, so I'm not paying for it. But
Okay, what's going on with HBO Max, man? They have this thing the last 10 years where they have this killer season 2 and then it just fucking nosedives, dude.
I will say this though.
Like literally nosedives.
I will say this. Yeah, what is going on with HBO Max? There's actually a show that I just got into, and I think it had to be like, it was out in 2021, 2022. Um, the show is called The Prince.
Uh-huh.
It's an animated show. The episodes are like 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and it follows Charlotte. Or what is the prince? What's his name? William.
Prince William, okay.
Prince William.
Okay.
Okay, so it follows Prince William and his wife and
Uh-huh.
his children, and the prince is actually their firstborn.
Kate Middleton,
Yeah,
right?
Kate
Okay.
follows them and the royal family. It's a cartoon. It's satire. It's by Gary Janetti.
Oh,
is
I
the
think
name.
I
And
know
he's
what
been
you're talking
involved
about.
in
Yeah,
shows like Family Guy, Will
yeah,
and
yeah.
Grace,
I know what you're talking about.
and
Yeah,
the show is fucking funny, right?
yeah.
And so I would see clips on Instagram, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta watch this." So I started watching it, and they did only one season of it, and then it got canceled, and it was so good.
Yeah, it's
It
like
was
what
so
the
good.
hell? What's
The
with these
Prince, HBO
cancellations,
Max, check
man?
it out. HBO Max is doing itself a disservice by actually removing shows that are actually really fucking funny and really good,
Yeah, it's just
and putting stuff like this up.
yeah,
This
it's
is the more commercial stuff
I'm
that people
watching. I'm
follow.
watching Tulsa King right now with Stallone. I started out of boredom like a week ago, and it's actually really good.
Tulsa King, okay,
Yeah,
I'll
it's
check it
actually
out.
really good. You know,
You
he's this
write that
mob
down.
guy that gets out of jail and goes to Tulsa, and it's actually really good acting. And it's him, and one of the main guys is his driver. You know, the black guy, super good actor, and it's actually really good, man.
I'll
You
check
know
it out.
why? Because it's not trying to be anything it isn't. And it's actually really cool. It's nothing that hasn't been done 1,000 times before. But you know what, Theo? You sit down, you have a 40 minutes of entertainment, you feel good about it. And Stallone listen, he's doing
It's
great.
Stallone,
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
it's Tulsa King. I'm telling you, man. Give it a shot. And I'd love to, actually, it'd be funny for you to start it and then a couple episodes down, we talk about it, see how you think about it. But I'm telling you, it's really good. You know, it's really entertaining. I want to be entertained. I want to be entertained. I want to freaking have 45 minutes of good quality. And HBO has no freaking excuse. They got unlimited budget.
That's true.
Okay,
Yeah.
don't. I mean, season 2 of The Last of Us is an embarrassment, man.
I'm upset.
Absolute embarrassment.
That's
man.
my complaint. Get your shit together for
Yeah.
you have all this time. Well, they're probably already in the process of filming the next seasons of those shows. I would assume maybe.
Does it matter?
I don't know.
Does it
Change it
matter?
up. Make
You
it
know,
good.
The only thing worse is how they let down Game of Thrones at the end.
Don't tell me about that one because I haven't seen that one yet. I do plan on watching it someday. But how many seasons of that show? Like 10 or something
Yeah,
ridiculous?
well,
like
but then it was 3 years in between this file and that season.
Okay.
Then they have this thing where you wait 2 years to get what 6 episodes. The last season was like what 6 episodes. I mean,
Okay.
it's a freaking joke. Listen, Game of Thrones had some great moments. It really did. It was like The Sopranos. It had great moments, but then the end is like, okay, you know what I mean. I should spoil it for you real quick.
that? Don't.
Should I tell you what happens at the end?
Which one on the?
Game of Thrones.
No, don't tell me.
Here's what
I
happens
mean,
at
I
the
already know.
end.
I already know
I'm
some
gonna tell
things
you
that
about-
happen. So I'd like to, keep some surprises.
All right, that's his complaint. My complaint. you know, as well as being involved in many businesses, but one of them, of course, real estate or whatever, volleyball refereeing. Every year, I have to do like 5 different sexual harassment courses.
Oh God.
That tells you pretty much
Yeah.
everything you need to know,
Yeah.
dude. How? I mean, how dumb has everybody become?
Well, we're
How
in the age
much
of Harvey Weinstein. So
Yeah, but see, even before that, it was well, okay, fair enough. I mean, but, dude, look. It takes I can adapt to anything. I can wrestle with the pig in the mud. I've done it. I worked with ex-cons in college carrying furniture. I washed dishes. I started as a dishwasher at a Standard Hotel. I was a waiter. I get it. You have to do it. I'm not. I get it. But at what point, watching this shit, do you start feeling like, okay, this is just absurd? is the word that comes to mind. It's simply coming to a point now where it's absurd, where it's like, okay, are we actually doing this? And mind you, these freaking things are time consuming. Okay, some of these, like the real estate one and the volleyball one, you're talking hours. They're not a 5 minute thing. They're like now 35-minute thing.
I mean, is this something? But you
And
don't
we
have
have
to do
to
it every
make sure
year.
that every race and every gender and every pronoun is addressed and every dude. It's like, at what point does the shit and then the overall presentation, how it's just done in a way that's at what point does the shit just become too dumb, man? And I know you've done them.
Yeah, I've done a million of them. I just kind of feel like
They used to
we
be legit.
know.
They used to be legit.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
don't be an asshole. Don't touch somebody. Don't walk and touch somebody's breast. Don't call him a name. Be respectful. Watch your space. Just don't be a dumb asshole forcing somebody and but now this isn't that anymore. This is
Right.
now.
No.
I think the sexual harassment course is now trying to make sure they're not offensive with the way they're doing it. It's like the sexual harassment course is a sexual harassment course within the presentation of the sexual harassment course.
I hate those too, but as you know, you and I, we're intelligent men. We know the difference between right and wrong, right? We know that there's certain things that we shouldn't say in the workplace. You know, certain positions that we shouldn't put ourselves in the workplace. There's something I saw. Actually, I was watching. It's funny. I was watching the Real Housewives of Miami. The new season just started, and Larsa Pippen took her son to Milan for
She's
a
a
fashion
piece
show.
of work, man.
She's literally she's a piece of work. She's pieced together, pieced together. But anyway,
okay, stop right here. Does she look good?
I think she looks better. I think she looked better her first few seasons of Real Housewives of Miami before she had all the work. Before she was trying to become a Kardashian.
Correct. Okay, now she's really pushing.
Now she just looks
Now she
like
looks-
her, like when she's in her confessionals and her boobs are pushed up and it all looks very plasticky and
Yeah,
it's
it looks
not very.
It's starting to look bad, right?
It's not great.
Okay, so not just me. It's
not just you.
She's starting to look bad. Okay.
But anyway, so she went to Milan with her son because her son was walking in the Philip Plein fashion show, and I just observed this when she goes up to hug Philip Plein because he comes in. Philip Plein, what he does is he reaches out like this, but he pulls his waist away from her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of men do that when they're greeting women, and you know, because a lot of women sometimes. And I'm not saying all women, but a lot of
Keanu
women,
Reeves
they're
is
huggers.
famous for that.
Keanu Reeves does do that.
behind you, but he doesn't really touch.
Right. He doesn't touch you. But I'm saying we're smart. We know the difference between right and wrong. But lines can get very blurred. Let's talk about different establishments or different venues. Let's say, for example, you are working in a real estate office and you're working with a woman, and you know what you shouldn't say and what you shouldn't do. But let's say you're working at a nightclub in West Hollywood and you're a bartender and you are working with female bartenders.
Which I did. And even
which,
then we knew. I mean, it's like.
but lies can get blurred.
And by the way,
if you're drinking.
Correct. But the idiot that doesn't know, that fucking course isn't going to make a difference.
That's true.
Especially in its bubblegum form.
But
you're
as
actually
you said,
better served being like, dude, don't be an asshole, versus this. Okay, we hope we're not offending you by the way we're telling you not to offend somebody.
But it's not for that guy. It's for the corporation, so they can't get sued
It's all
because
about
they're saying,
correct.
I
That's
showed
the
you what
thing.
you shouldn't be doing,
You just
and you
hit-
chose to do it.
You hit the nail on the head.
So that's why we have to
Correct.
do it. And
Correct.
And
You
they're a
said
pain in the. And now the new twist on a lot of them is like, they're like, if a man comes up, if you're a man. If someone of the same sex, makes a pass at you or says something to you that makes you uncomfortable, that's also considered sexual harassment. So we need to let you know that in this modern day and age, that too is considered sexual harassment. It doesn't matter if you're the same sex. And we're like, well, no shit. Like, we already know this.
Dude, just don't be an asshole, dude. It's like I can't do it. I mean, and you're right. You totally hit the nail on the head. You can tell how the companies are making these courses now to the point where they're absurd, and because they have to make sure that they're covered from every angle. And by the way, you're not covered. If somebody's going to sue you, they're going to sue you anyway. I'm telling you, man. It's I don't know, man. And we all met people at work, that you know very well, that will scream that you harassed them even though you didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, correct. Okay, I've been a victim of that. Let me tell you something. And there's no sexual harassment course that was protecting me from that. I've been a victim of that, and I know you have. And it's well.
Well, as you said, we do live in one of the most litigious states in the country. So, I mean, it's bound to happen. And a lot of times, I feel like, listen, if somebody makes an allegation, that allegation has to be taken seriously.
No, fair enough.
You
fair
can't
enough.
just be like, oh,
We're on the opposite end in California because here it's a career death sentence. Maybe not so bad, but a few years ago it was like all you needed was to be accused, and your career is over.
Speaking of,
You know what I mean?
I don't
It's now
know.
guilty till proven innocent.
I don't know. For maybe you're a gay. You're a fan of the show and you happen to be gay, or maybe you're not. But there
This show is for straight people.
It's
Don't offend
this
straight.
show. This show is for everyone. Come
I
as
hope
you
I
are.
offended you.
Come as you are. But
Should we have a sexual harassment course for the show? We should make one.
no, we shouldn't. We actually should.
Yeah,
Right?
we should.
Make
Okay.
one, right?
Okay, here it is. Are you ready? Are you ready? Don't be a dumb asshole. Be respectful to everybody. Just don't be an asshole. And
Okay.
if somebody doesn't like you, it's okay. And it's okay if you don't like him either. Just be cool.
Well, let me sign off.
There's
on
the
that.
sexual harassment course. Signed off by Theo and Marko.
But what I was going to say was there is a famous drag queen. Maybe you've heard the name Shangela.
No, I know of RuPaul. That's about it.
Okay, you don't RuPaul. That's it.
That's it. Yeah. Well, I know a lot of them by face, but
Okay,
not by name.
by name.
RuPaul,
Okay,
I know. Yeah.
well, there's this
Which,
drag
by the way, I
queen-
met at the pole lounge. Nicest person ever.
Really?
Yeah. Super.
Interesting.
Super cool.
I've heard
At least
other things.
Well, I'll take that back. Of course, he's nice because I'm walking up while he's walking out. I'm like, oh, I love you, da 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 da. Because he's been like a presence in my life since I'm like 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's 80 years old.
You can't tell with the makeup.
So, in all fairness, Harvey Weinstein was just as nice when I was waiting tables,
Yeah.
and in the back he was raping.
Yeah, but
women,
he wasn't
so-
wanting anything from you.
Correct. Yeah. Fair enough.
But anyway,
And that's why you love this show.
this drag queen, Shangela, a beloved drag queen, was a RuPaul's Drag Race contestant multiple times.
That show's
Got her
still
own
going.
show.
Wow.
She got her own show with two other drag queens on HBO Max.
Oh, I thought Bravo.
The show was it was on I don't want to say Bravo's legit, obviously, but HBO Max to get a show on HBO.
no,
Max,
that's
a big deal,
that's-
right?
yeah,
And the show was
that's
called
legit.
We're Here. It was her, Bob the drag queen, and Eureka O'Hara. These are three drag queens. Look them up. All very well known. Bob the drag queen was recently on the last iteration of Traders US. Anyway, they would go to small towns throughout the United States, and they would put on drag shows.
Okay.
And they would be assigned a drag son or a drag daughter. And this would be someone that would be in that community who was gay or lesbian or somebody that was just outside of the norm of what that community would consider to be like
Okay.
a normal thing, right? And so it was a very touching show. And within the last couple years, so many allegations have come out with allegedly. I'm saying allegedly.
Oh yeah.
Shangela
Yeah.
drugging people, drugging guys and like taking advantage of them. The guys wake up and their pants are down and all this other kind
Yeah.
of crazy stuff. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about. I mean, that's not okay in any type of situation, right? But when you're in entertainment, which is where I feel like a lot of this stuff happens mostly, I think it kind of it can tend to muddy the waters a little bit because.
And listen, an
It's
asshole is
more
an
loose in that
asshole. It's
type of
not
environment.
exclusive to whether you're straight, white, black, gay. It doesn't matter. I mean, we were talking about this months ago. Remember when that movie where the trans actor Gascon, whatever her name is, was
Sophia.
nominated for an Oscar. Yeah, Sophia, right? And she was gonna, I guess, be a man winning in the woman category. And God bless her if that's how they want to roll
She's
it.
a trans
You know,
woman, so she's a woman.
God bless her. You know what I mean? Well, to me, she's a man that identifies as a woman.
That's actually something that we're going to talk about.
I can't wait.
But she's but she's a trans woman.
And fair enough, and I respect
Yeah.
it. Listen, I totally respect it. I'm all for it, and the academy.
Terrible trans woman,
you know,
but trans woman.
Yeah, and everybody, instantly, obviously, because she's trans, she's holier than thou, and da da da
No,
da.
I
You
don't
know.
think people feel that way.
Well, a little bit. There's that sentiment. I
Because
still
she's
don't
trans,
feel
she
like-
can't she's holier than thou and can't do anything wrong.
Well, no. That I feel like that's how they were treating her. You know what I mean? And then it turns out she is a full-on racist.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my point is, it doesn't matter who you are, and it's not again. I don't know her. God bless her. We all have our demons, but you being a racist, an asshole, an anti-Semite is not exclusive to anything. It doesn't matter what you identify. If you're a bad human being or an a-hole, you're an a-hole no matter what. And she was living proof of that. You know what I mean? And obviously, sadly, ruined and burned her whole career with that.
I don't know how we got here from sexual harassment.
That's why I love that show.
That's why we're
It's
shooting the
good.
shit.
We're shooting the
Okay.
shits. I love it. All right. You know what? You ready for shooting the shits?
Yeah, I'm ready for shooting.
All right. This is called Shooting the Shits.
Shooting the shit.
Shooting the shits. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, Theo, you know how much I love these dilemma questions, right?
Yes.
I love that stuff. I love that stuff. All right. I want to hear your opinion. Um, you're dying. You go to the doctor. He tells you, man, you got 30 days, terminal illness. Here's the good news. If you there's a cure. There's this pill. Okay. You just have to make sure insurance covers it and everything is good. And you're like, hey, that's great, perfect. You find out this pill is, $25,000. You check your Blue Shield that covers, 60% of it, whatever, right? You're somewhere at 17, 18 grand. You take your savings, freaking max out credit cards. You're freaking 5 grand short. There's just no way in hell you can come up with the difference. You know what I mean? Now you can go steal the pill. You can steal it and you will survive, but you're completely maxed out. You ever been in a position, we all been there, where you just don't know where to go anymore for help, especially financially, right? You're done. You're done. Do you break into the pharmacy and steal the freaking pill and commit a felony and a crime and become a thief but survive? Or I can't afford it. I can't afford a treatment like many others. Do you not?
This is just you. You're on your own. You don't have a family. It's just you're solo. That's it. Or do you have a family that you're taking? Like, what are the
No,
surrounding circumstances?
You know what? Let's go. The story is based on a true story. Let's go with just you and your current situation. You are where you are in life. Doesn't matter if life is going great or not so great. Everything could be always better. It's relative. But the bottom line is, and by the way, this medication in the true story was 180 grand. Okay, the meds that this person needed. Okay,
180 grand.
correct. It was 180 grand because there's some cancer stuff, I guess, that you can take that now radiates the cancer from the inside or something. But well, the pill is probably $5. It's this country's healthcare system that made it 200 grand, right?
Yeah.
So you can probably get the same pill in Canada for $90.
Yeah.
Or in Mexico for 10. But the problem is, it is what it is. We're stuck here. And of course, you can't go to another country to get health care. So, you're done. I mean, you just simply don't have enough money to get the treatment. Do you go steal it, or is it, or you just bite the bullet?
If it's a matter of life and death, you go and you steal it.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. I mean, look,
Okay.
what's going to end up happening is you're going to steal it. You're going to get caught. Like you said, there's going to be charges. You're going to be thrown in jail. How long are you going to be thrown in jail? We don't know. But at least you're going to be alive. Your life is just going to be uncomfortable for a few years, probably. Depending on, what did you say the cost of it was? 100 and
Yeah, it was the treatment. The whole pill treatment was like pushing 200 grand.
So then, what kind of? I don't know how the law works as far as like the amount of what something valued at that you steal.
But it's also the logistics. You got to break into the pharmacy. You clearly can break in. Obviously, I mean, smash the window, go in and break the things open, or ram your car in there. Like
the thing is, are you going to even have enough time to find out? I mean, have you been to a pharmacy? Like even just going to a Ralph's pharmacy and looking at the shelf. How are you going to know what you need to go to exactly for what you need? You're not going to know that. Like,
fair enough.
They'll tell you, oh, this is the name of the drug that you need, but how the fuck are you going to find it in a pharmacy? You're not going to have enough time. So what's going to end up happening if we're talking real, what you're going to do, like you break in, and before you can find it, you're going to be arrested. So it's all going to be for naught. You know what I mean?
But let's say you would be able to track it down. You would.
Okay, so you'll be able to track it down. My answer would still,
go do it.
Stand the same.
Okay.
I would do it. I mean,
Okay.
it's ridiculous how much healthcare is in the how life ruining a medical condition can be in this country. Like these corporations are making billions and billions and billions of dollars, and you taking a pill that's like you said probably cost them $5 to make or whatever it is. What their profits are going to be? Let's say it's their profits 10 billion for the year versus 9 billion for the year. They're still going to be okay. You know what I'm saying?
But according, and I'm going to play devil's advocate. Now, of course, I'm playing complete a devil's advocate. There's a truck, that every day goes to the Apple stores to deliver iPhones, and in the back there's I think 1,500 iPhones. If you were to go steal that truck and these 1,500 iPhones, I mean, Apple is a trillion dollar company, right? Mm-hmm. So them losing 1,500 iPhones, I mean, let's face it, it'd be so minor, it might not even actually be enough to trigger a numbers change. It'd be like 0.0000001%, right?
100% minimal.
Yeah, they would only notice because they digitally they would notice. They wouldn't probably notice in the wallet. So would that then make it okay? Be like, well, fuck, they you know, these guys have $1 trillion, man. If I steal a 1,500 iPhones, because I got, you see where I'm going with this. Of course, I'm playing very devil's
Right,
advocate
right.
here. You know what I mean?
The thing is, we live in a society of rules and laws, and while breaking into a pharmacy to steal the medication is not the best solution, like it if people started doing stuff like that because they felt like they just because they were in a certain situation that they were deserving of something or they needed something and they were going to take it's like what vigilante justice or whatever, right?
Right.
People would start doing whatever the hell that they wanted to do, and there would be no what would stop somebody from coming into your home and taking something from you because they feel like they're deserving of it and they need it, they
Right.
need that in order to survive?
You're right.
Or they need to break into your home and steal that food out of your refrigerator in order to feed their
Right.
family. Like there's
Yep.
there's like rules and things like that. So when we talk about it in those terms, then
Or stealing food.
yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
I've been, you and I both when we came to LA. I mean, I was 2001, man. And when I say $9 but when you're 20 out of college, it's cool to be broke, right?
Yeah.
We were the four of us in one bedroom. I mean, we didn't even have an account. There's nothing to put in there. You work for $9 an hour at Tower Records. I was washing dishes at the Standard, making $9 an hour. And dude, stealing food was we look. I hate to admit it. Technically, that makes me a thief, but Devin and I did dash and dine. Is that what it's called?
Oh, did you really
a few
do that?
times we did it.
Wow.
Well, no, dude, but like
A few
legit-
times you said.
There were probably 3-4 times we dashed and dined at Denny's because we literally
Denny's of all places.
I mean, listen. This is way before iPhones and social media. This is 2001, and the thought of having a real omelet just over
Real omelet.
Well, yeah,
From Denny's, a real omelet. Okay.
it overwhelmed logic, and we just when you're there was a there it's not I'm not making this up. There was a 20-day stretch where we legitimately lived 3 times a day off of Jack in the Box. Had the jumbo jack. It was 99
Oh my
cents.
God.
It was 99 cents. It was a patty and a thing, and
How many days?
I think we almost went a month. Almost, yeah. We actually
How many-
legitimately.
How much poison you were putting in your body at that point?
Yeah, but you're 21. You're
Yeah,
invincible.
yeah,
You
yeah,
live under that
yeah.
umbrella of invincibility. But I'm telling you, we started feeling it.
Yeah.
We started because all we had was malt beer at the Playboy Liquor on Wilcox. Right, it's 99 cents for a 24 ounce of fake beer, and Andrea, the rapper guy, he would have these food stamps, and I wasn't embarrassed. He was, listen, we're working, we're trying to survive, and it is what it is, But it got so bad, we were like, look, we're actually with predetermination gonna commit this crime of going into Denny's. We will order food. We will order omelets. We will order eggs. We will order freaking hash browns and real coffee and juice and run.
Well, I mean, the thing that's
You
the
know,
thing that
that's
sucks
how
about
desperate
that.
you are. You know.
Yeah, the thing that sucks about that though is like the person that was serving you.
Correct.
They're going to be held
Correct.
responsible for that.
No,
and
100%.
That's
100%.
that's shitty.
It's a
I mean,
complete shit thing to do. And,
Yeah.
and when you say it like that, and I'm fully aware of that, trust me, it is. It makes me feel miserable because we
Person
walked
probably
out.
lost their job,
Yeah.
so you could have a damn omelet, bitch. I mean, come on
They
now.
got fired.
I mean, maybe it was like their third or fourth time. Who knows?
Damn it.
Wow.
Like, now you're making me feel guilty. Don't
I mean,
do
you
that.
should. You
Yeah.
should.
Anyway, I would steal that pill.
Okay.
I would
mean,
100% steal it.
I 100%
give a
agree
shit.
with you on that. I
I'm
would
not
probably
dying.
steal that pill too.
I'm not dying because at this point I'm just an animal who wants to survive. You know what I mean? Like why would I not go steal a pill that's gonna save my life?
Yeah.
I would totally do it.
I agree with
I
that.
would totally do it. But I would also take the consequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take the pill, heal, and then be like, "Here's my address. Come take me in." You know what I mean? Yep, 100%.
All right.
Well, there's your moral dilemma for the week. I tell you.
Well,
Yeah. So wait, you would steal it too?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay,
I would.
okay.
I mean, I would do it. As I said, the corporations in this country, like,
Yeah.
all the money that they make.
You know what
and-
bugs me about our health insurance? And it's funny, it's always such a double-edged sword. The greatest country, it can be a broke-ass girl dreaming and become a billionaire executive, but the healthcare system we can't figure out, man. Do you know that my PPO?
I don't understand why it's so hard. I really don't.
did
Oh
you-
well, yeah.
Do you understand that my PPO monthly payment is $900?
Is it really?
Yeah, it's $1,000 basically.
that's
and
from-
it doesn't get it's the best PPO money can buy, and still it basically covers nothing. If I had a major thing, like truly like a brutal freaking hardcore thing, it might actually, do something.
Kick in and do something.
But even then, when you add up the copay, what that I would have to do, and the other resources outside of that, you can go buy a car. So it's not even like you really have.
It is a car payment.
Yeah, you don't even have a real health insurance, so to speak. You know what I mean? So it's and every time I pay that bill, it angers me. It angers me, man.
Your insurance though is not through like an employer though, right?
No, it's private. Yeah, we just
private,
pay out of
yeah,
our
yeah,
pocket PPO because that's the European in me. I gotta have health insurance, right? And but yeah, don't get me started. Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about something that happened recently. Earlier, you were talking about Sophia Gascon.
Yes.
The trans
Emilia
woman,
Perez actress.
Amelia Perez actress. She was nominated for an Academy Award for her role. And speaking of her, it led me to want to talk about the topic that I had written down about. There was this interview that you know who Nene Leakes is, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and so you know who T.S. Madison is.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yep.
recently, Nene, she started a show on YouTube. She's had a few notable guests on. She's had a fellow housewife, Cynthia Bailey, on.
She
She's
also has a
had,
big attitude problem lately.
lately,
well,
lately,
that's me being kind.
the attitude changed with the face. So it all changed at once. But
wow.
but yeah, she's had Cynthia Bailey on. She's had Tamar Braxton on, and now she's had T.S. Madison on. And for those of you who don't know who T.S. Madison is, she is a trans woman. She's an advocate for trans people. She's also a host on or judge on RuPaul's Drag Race. And some of the comments that Nene was making, a lot of people saw them as being just ignorant and transphobic. She said something to the effect of like to TS, "Oh, I don't see you as trans. I don't see you as trans, right?" Which a lot of people felt
rude.
was, they felt that was like kind of dismissive. And I can understand what she meant by that, meaning like if I saw you on the street, I would just assume that you were born female.
Okay.
You were a cis woman, right? And so a lot of people felt that was like very dismissive because trans people deal with a lot, and then the whole process of actually, like if you're going to have bottom surgery, top surgery, and those types of things,
right.
it's a lot. So you go through a lot as a trans person, and people just felt like Nene was being very dismissive. Like she made the comment of like, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it was like, if there's a man that dates you, a trans woman, or a man that messes around with other men, say for example,
right.
a guy that's bisexual, that she would want no part of them, she wouldn't date them.
Well, listen, she's not being dismissive. She's being an asshole.
Yes,
yeah, she's
yes.
not being
I mean, it was coming from we're getting it from two different sides, right?
No, she's being an asshole. She's clearly being
it reads
an
as
asshole
ignorant.
by choice. Yeah, well,
it reads as ignorant, but
asshole,
but I want
to
ask
to agree with somebody's lifestyle. Doesn't mean you have to be an asshole about it. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't. But as she was answering, she wasn't answering in the way of like, that's disgusting. She wasn't answering it in that way. It's just the way that it's just that like the thoughts that she was having that you could kind of just like see behind her eyes or whatever.
Right.
But my question to you is then like,
right.
If you didn't know, let's say, would you date? Let's say you did know.
Mm-hmm.
Would you date a trans woman? Mm. Let's say, for example, you were out. You could be in West Hollywood, or for that matter, anywhere in Los Angeles.
I'm single. Yeah,
you're single. Yeah, you're out, and you see this beautiful girl across the room, and you have no idea that this person is a trans woman. Would you, after finding out the fact that they were a trans woman, what would your thoughts be? Would you choose to continue the relationship, or choose to continue to want to date that person? Would you like bow out? Like, what would you do?
Wow, that's juicy. I like this. Wow. Listen, I'll let you in on a secret. Well, I never had a reason to say this before. I'll say it right here. Gascon?
Yes, Sophia.
Gascon, whatever. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. I apologize. Sophia.
Yes, Sophia. Yes, is her name.
The actress of Emilia Perez. Mm-hmm. I thought two things. I had no idea what the movie was about, so I just saw posters. I'm talking back when I just know pictures.
Briefly, it's about this gangster guy who...
No, I know what the movie is about.
You know
no. I'm saying before I even knew what the movie was about, when I just saw posters.
Okay, yeah. No, same.
Correct.
No.
I just, before I even knew
that
anything...
was a twist.
Before I even knew anything about the movie or anything, before anything even happened with it, I thought I was looking at a real woman. I thought she was actually a real beautiful, real woman, born as a woman. I didn't know it was a trans woman. So when I first saw a picture of her, now later when I saw footage, you can tell it's a trans. You know what I mean? But and I mean that in a respectful way. But I'm just saying when I first saw a picture of the posters, I thought it was an actual woman born as a woman. I
That
thought
was a cis woman.
a cis woman. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I thought I thought it was a really pretty lady. To be honest with you, I thought she was kind of
You thought she was attractive?
kind of hot, you know.
Okay.
Now later, when I saw interviews and the whole thing blew up with her being a racist and stuff, then you can kind of I could tell the maybe a more male-ish feature, but again, still a beautiful human being in its own right. You know what I mean? So what I dated, listen, I've seen. I remember to this day, 25 years ago, I was in West Hollywood at the Halloween parade, and there was these Thai boys that I thought were women. You know, and I was like, "Fuck, you're hot."
Have you been to Thailand?
No, never yet.
I haven't either. I'm just curious.
Yeah, and I could tell it kind of by the feet. You know, that it was like because I have a foot fetish. I always look at the feet. But man, I got to admit that was a good looking woman.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So now you find out you got to disclose it. It becomes complicated now. You know, I think when you fall in love, you fall in love. But okay, what's going on down here? You know, I'm attracted to a traditional woman, so to speak. So do you still have do you don't? I can't speak to that. You know what I mean? But listen, a good looking person is a good looking person.
But you would not date a trans woman.
Probably not.
Okay.
No, if it's still logistically speaking more male.
Let's say it was a trans woman who had a bottom surgery.
Great question, man. Fuck, I don't know.
Bottom surgery and top surgery. So breasts that are just as real as any other woman's in LA because let's face it, they all have boob jobs.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then I, without being disrespectful, like I don't, as far as bottom surgery goes, I don't necessarily know what happens.
Right.
When
I
that
don't know
takes
either.
place.
Yeah.
So, anybody out there that wants to share that or is trans and would like to come on the show and discuss that, I would love to have that.
Yeah.
But let's say all of that was done, and interestingly enough, there is this new documentary on HBO Max that came out for Pride Month. It's called Enigma.
Oh shit.
You should check it out.
Okay.
I wanted to discuss it on the show actually, and so I'll save it. But it's actually an interesting story about sex change operations.
Okay.
Women. But this is in like the.
Well, I think they're very sophisticated now. I generally believe. My general understanding, I should say, is that you can go down there and make it like legit. With respect to look and feel is what I've read. So
okay, well,
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
So then perfect. So then let's say all of that was done.
Listen, if you're born a male and you were able to accomplish to make me feel like you're genuinely a woman, I mean,
genuinely a woman, born a woman, cis woman.
Well, the way the
way you identify,
the way I identify woman, right? Okay. That's my freedom to how I identify, just like you identify, right? So if I like my woman to be feminine, and I don't mean by that you need to look like Cindy Crawford. You know what I mean? Because I met trans that are women that are truly feminine. Okay, you were clearly meant to be a woman, right? You were just born in the wrong body, But I've also met, because I worked at the Abbey, and I've been in that scene. I also met trans where it's like, okay, you're clearly a guy.
Here's the question.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I can't do that. You got to be what to me is a woman with respect to feminine, being feminine, And I met trans women that are to me don't appear woman. You know what I mean? Okay. They might identify as such, and that's great. But to me, I wouldn't be able to touch them.
Okay, so this is a really, 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 really.
Does that make sense?
Really good one. No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But this is a really good one, and this is not about dating a trans person, whatever. I have a friend. And
wait, hold that thought. If somebody was born a woman and is now trans male, is that how you would say it?
A trans man. Yeah.
Trans man.
Yeah.
Could you date it?
I date the person. Don't say it.
Yeah,
you said it.
Yeah, sorry.
We're sorry. We're all learning together.
I'm learning. Don't be offended.
Okay.
Chill, take a breath. So now they have a penis down there.
I don't Well,
See,
that's a good question. He got me.
It's a tough question.
You got
right?
me.
All right,
But
all right, motherfucker.
but
All right, motherfucker. See, the
and maybe
answer
and
is
maybe
no.
and
The
maybe
answer
this
is-
question that I was going to ask you, maybe the two questions relate.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the question
You
that I
see,
was going
it's
to
not
ask
easy
you.
to say yes or no.
You're right. It's not.
It's not easy to say
Um,
either yes or no. You
I
know
have
what I mean?
I have a friend, and we were having this discussion,
Huh. This
and
is great stuff.
and the discussion was he said to me, and I'm going to ask you if you agree with this.
Okay. If I agree, okay.
Yeah, and I can't really answer the question because I don't that I know of anyway. I don't feel like I've encountered a lot of trans men,
Uh-huh.
but I have encountered a lot of trans women.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Same here. Same here.
So
yeah.
the question is, he said to me, I feel like I would date trans women because I feel like nowadays, women, women who are cisgender women born as female, um, a lot of them, and this is not me, this is someone else saying this. A lot of them have lost their femininity. He feels like, and so when you are born a male and you become a trans woman, there are certain things that you feel will make you more feminine. So you tend to exaggerate, for lack of a better term, you just exaggerate.
I see what he's trying
You
to say.
exaggerate
Yeah.
femininity, and so then you're more feminine in everything that you do, the way you talk, the way you dress. You're all about the makeup. Because it's almost as if you're covering, right? Like you're trying to, what is the term?
Right.
Stealth.
Right,
So that nobody can find out that you were born a male and that you are now a trans woman. So what he's saying is trans women are more feminine, more womanly than actual cisgender women because, in a sense, they have something to prove. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's above my pay grade. I can see a lot of women be very offended by those statements, but or maybe not. I don't know. I think logistically speaking, if you grow up as a girl and you go through, changes of your body, menstruation, giving birth and stuff, I think, that'd be like me saying I identify as black, and because I so identify as a jazz player and I'm black, I have to live it more. I can be better at black than you being black, and therefore I will know what it's like to be black. And to me, that's borderline arrogant, to even suggest that I can experience. Trust me, I've been white. I got beat up. Being white didn't make a difference, but and I've lived being black in America, and I know what it's like to be black in America. Trust me, I really do. And still, I have no clue compared to him. I will never know what it's
Like
like.
the Rachel Dolezal of it all.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And trust me, I'm telling you, I have a very good understanding what it's like to have a mark on you at all time, but still, I have an hour out of the day where I have a rest. You don't. So no matter how close I can get, I will never. Just like I will never understand what it's like to be gay, right? I can research it, act it, get an Oscar for it, and really breathe it and live it to the point like Malik did a great job with Freddie Mercury. I think he did a good job in the movie portraying Freddie Mercury.
What was his? Oh,
Malik,
Rami Malek.
Robbie Malik, and he
Yeah,
still said, "Look, even then, I tasted it. I wouldn't know what it's like to truly."
Is he gay or is he not gay? I don't know.
I don't think he is.
Okay.
I don't think he is. You know what I'm saying? So I think when you start making statements like that, man. I mean, if anything, you should be the opposite. Celebrate that you're different. That you're your own thing.
Well, maybe that's maybe because he's interacted with both, right? Like he's dated trans women before, and he's making the comparison to like, dating a cis woman, and maybe that's I don't know. I mean, I guess I can kind of sort of see.
I see what he's trying to
coming from
say.
and what he's trying to say.
Dude, you'll never.
But yeah,
know.
you would piss off a
And
lot
by the
of
way,
cis women.
And by the way, you don't need to do that.
What do you mean? You don't need to do
You
what?
don't need to do that. Like if you were born a male and I identify as a woman, you change into whatever it is that makes you happy. Be your own thing. You don't have to compete with wanting to feel like a cis woman or non-cis woman, whatever the fucking term is now. Just be your own. Be happy in your own body.
Well, we'll
You
never
what
know.
I'm
Obviously,
saying?
that's something
Yeah.
that we can never
know? Yeah.
experience, or we will never experience or
Listen,
be able to comment
I'll never
on.
know what it's like to be black and gay. You'll never
Right.
know what it's like to be beautiful, straight, wonderful, talented, amazing, sought after, looked up to.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? So it's the same principle.
Yeah. Oh.
Says the guy who's fucking is 80 pounds next to the guy that's all muscle.
I just thought that was interesting though, and it really
Yeah,
did make me think of
yeah.
like
But you see what I'm saying? You know,
yeah.
it's like,
No, you're
I
right.
don't know.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. Good stuff. Wow, would I date? See, now we both have to go think about that. Would you date a trans man? Would I date a trans woman? It's hard, man. That's a hard one to answer. Oh, by the way, Elliot Page.
What about Elliot Page?
I thought she was super cute when she was a woman. She was adorable, and I think she's pretty fucking good looking dude now too. She's a man. So, by the way, apparently she has the full thing done, everything. That's a man now.
Okay.
Okay, would you?
Not for me though.
No.
Not specifically Elliot Page. No.
Oh, well, not him specifically, but you see my point.
I know what you're saying, but
Let's say Elliot Page you thought was hot.
okay, there is a trans man that I think is hot. He was on I think was he on America's Next Top Model? I don't remember. I can't remember his name. I'll have to was it Ashton or something? I don't remember.
Never seen it.
But a very
Put a
attractive.
picture, yeah.
Yeah, I'll pull it up and look. But very attractive man. But still, to answer the question,
Listen,
honestly,
I know you hate
don't know.
vagina. There was a vagina there at some point.
Package it up. Keep it to yourself. I don't want it. That's
Just a thought that there was a vagina there.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, hey, and that goes for you too.
I know.
mean,
There was a
you know what I'm saying?
penis there.
So I guess at least in this moment, neither of us can really answer that question.
And
but,
there
I
goes
mean,
another good teaser.
You know, but I mean,
I'm
I'm curious to know what you guys think.
Yeah.
If
I would love
you
to
know,
know, yeah.
if whether you date men or women, you're straight or gay, whatever,
Yeah.
would you date someone who is trans and explain why you would, or explain why you would choose not to? Obviously, you know,
This
it's
is a
your
great
choice.
question.
but,
I'll
I
tell you,
mean,
it's a complicated because my initial instinct was to be like, fuck no. And then I was like, well, no, it's not really fuck. No, I mean, it's a tough question to answer, right? You know, it's a really hard question.
maybe you just need to experience it. Maybe you just need to experience
Thank God
it.
I'm married, man. I tell you, man. I don't know of any period because my friends tell me there's no harder period in the history of the world to date than today. You know?
Oh, I would agree with that. I mean, I didn't do like
That's a
ton
great
of dating,
topic maybe
but like,
for next episode.
yeah, we need
because,
to
yeah.
say that for another shoot in the shit because we're running out of time right
And
now.
especially if you're truly looking for a real relationship, love, it must be. I'll tell you, I'm glad man, and you must be happy you're married too because today with the shit I see, dude, I would just stay single. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are choosing to do that.
Yeah, no, I don't.
But
blame you. I
that's
don't
for
blame
another
you.
day.
Yeah, that's for another day. Well, guys, I hope you enjoy the great stuff I brought to the show, and but yeah,
Lack thereof.
Yeah. Damn it, he always gets me.
Black thereof.
20 years out. Black thereof. You know what I mean?
That's stupid. The black thereof.
The black thereof. Guys, please subscribe to our Instagram. You're not my type, bro. YTBMB on YouTube, right?
YMTBshow
Show.
on X.
On X,
Twitter.
correct.
You're not my type, bro. On YouTube.
On YouTube, correct. Yeah,
exactly.
we love what we do, and I hope this allows you to step out of the day a little bit and shoot the shits with us. We love this format. We love our new studio, and this is super fun. You know what I mean? I don't know how he's going to edit down this episode, but I tell you, I really enjoy this because every time he hits me with something where I'm like, oh, I know the answer right away, and then when I start answering, I'm like, wait, actually, I might,
I mean,
and it's cool because you know what, we do all this stuff in real time.
Yeah.
See, people don't know. We don't script anything. That's why it's called Shoot the Shit.
well, I'm gonna edit the episode by cropping out the screen, half the screen, first of all.
Damn
And
it.
for you people that are listening and not watching, you'll just have to deal with Marko.
Do you really want to miss out on this sexy fake accent? You know, I'm really from Texas, right? So
There is Texas, yes. That's where that accent comes from.
we love you guys, and we'll see you next week from Theo and Marko. You're not my type, bro. See you next week.
Bye.